Global Research Network on Terrorism and Technology, paper number 4. Following the whack-a-mole. Britain First's Visual Strategy from Facebook to Gab. Lela Nuri, Nuria Lorenzo Dews and Amy Louise Watkin. Royal United Services Institute for Defense and Security Studies. Global Research Network on Terrorism and Technology, paper number 4-2. Key points. The focus of this paper is on the extremist group Britain First. As such, it does not explore online terrorist activity but rather examines how a group regarded as extremist is subject to online sanctions. The removal of the extremist group Britain First from Facebook in March 2018 successfully disrupted the group's online activity, leading them to have to start anew on Gab, a different and considerably smaller social media platform. The removal also resulted in the group having to seek new online followers from a much smaller, less diverse recruitment pool. This paper demonstrates the further impact of the group's platform migration on their online strategy, particularly on their choice of images and the engagement levels generated through them. The paper puts forward a number of key recommendations, most importantly that social media companies should continue to censor and remove hateful content. Recommendations. Mainstream social media companies should continue to seek to remove extremist groups that breach their terms of service. The UK and US governments should work towards developing better relationships with newer, smaller and fringe platforms in order for content to be regulated on these sites. Mainstream social media companies should continue and intensify the sharing of best practices of the removal and monitoring of extreme content, as well as resources, with smaller and newer platforms. Policymakers should strengthen the response to extremist content through further collaboration, beyond the major social media platforms, to ensure the consistent removal of content. Introduction. Governments and law enforcement are concerned about the volume and spread of Internet use in general and social media networks in particular by extreme right groups. For example, a 2016 report by the UK Home Affairs Select Committee titled Radicalisation, the Counter-Narrative and Identifying the Tipping Point, unambiguously stated in relation to extreme right groups' use of social media that, networks like Facebook, Twitter and YouTube are the vehicle of choice in spreading propaganda and they have become the recruiting platforms for terrorism. 1 House of Commons Home Affairs Committee, Radicalisation. The Counter-Narrative and Identifying the Tipping Point, HC 135, p4. https://publications.parliament.uk/centimeter201617//cmf/cmf/2016 PDF, accessed 1 July 2019. Nuri, Lorenzo Dews and Watkin 3. Following U.S. President Donald Trump's retweeting of posts from Britain First. In November 2017, UK Prime Minister Theresa May was quick to point out that he had been wrong to do so, too, highlighting governmental concern about the use of social media by extreme right groups. Just over 4 months later, in March 2018, and following the conviction of the leaders of the extreme right group Britain First, Paul Golding and Jada Franson, on counts of hate crime, the group's Facebook account was removed. 3 The removal sparked debate about the group's social media presence. This was not surprising, given that it had at the time reached 1.8 million followers and had more than 2 million likes, making it the second most liked Facebook page within the politics and society category in the UK, after the royal family. 4. However, experience shows that as soon as something is removed from the internet, it pops up somewhere else. By May 2018, Britain First had created an official page on an emerging and popular social media site that is known for low-level censorship, Gab. This paper examines Britain First's use of first Facebook and then Gab. Specifically, it examines the effect that Facebook's removal of Britain First's official page had on the group's dissemination and influence, in terms of numbers of followers, quantity of content posted and engagement level, and its visual communication strategy, specifically regarding its choice of images and the level of engagement that these generated. Background: Britain First. Britain First was formed in 2011 by Jim Dawson, a former member of the British National Party, as a product of the decline of the English Defence League. 5. Britain First describes itself as a patriotic political party and street movement that opposes and fights the many injustices that are routinely inflicted on the British people. 6. The group's leaders state that they are not a racist party, claiming that many of their supporters come from ethnic minority groups. Yet, they also claim that their goals are to protect British and Christian morality, and to preserve the ancestral ethnic and cultural. 2. BBC News, Donald Trump prepared to apologize for Britain First retweets. 26 January 2018. 3. Alex Hearn and Kevin Rawlinson, Facebook bans Britain First and its leaders. The Guardian, 14 March 2018. 4. Patrick Hermanson, Online Hate, The Year in Numbers, Hope Not Hate. Undated, accessed 22 June 2019. 5. Matthew Collins, The Truth About Britain First, the one-man band with a knack for Facebook, The Guardian, 25 February 2015. 6. Britain First's mission statement was available at https://www.britainfirst.org/mission statement, but has now been removed. Global Research Network on Terrorism and Technology, paper number 44. Heritage of the UK while supporting the indigenous British people as the demographic majority. 7. On their Facebook page, removed on 14 March 2018, Britain First's leaders claimed to not be against individual Muslims, but specifically against the ideological doctrine and religion of Islam itself. The leaders of Britain First created Gab profiles around the same time they were banned from Twitter in December 2017. However, they did not create an official Britain First Gab page, which is the focus of this paper, until May 2018. Since starting their Gab accounts in December 2017, both leaders have managed to attain around 15,000 followers each, and at the time of writing, the official Britain First page has attracted 11,181 followers. Gab was founded in August 2016 and, at the time of writing, is said to have 850,000 users. 8. Gab's homepage currently states that it is a social network that champions free speech, individual liberty and the free flow of Information online. All are welcome. 9. It is not surprising, therefore, that Gab is particularly favored by public figures associated with the radical right, including Stephen Lennon, Tommy Robinson, Milo Yiannopoulos, and Paul Joseph Watson. 10. Gab previously stated that it is anti-censorship, declaring previously on its homepage, censorship and closed systems are ultimately about two things, destruction and control. The goal of censorship is to silence the storytellers, the truth seekers, the contrarians, the artists, those who question the status quo. It argues that the Internet belongs to the people, that Gab is for the people and that it is powered by the people. 11. As such, the use of this platform by Britain First makes for a worthwhile comparison to their use of Facebook in terms of content posted and level of engagement with the group. Social media regulatory landscape. Although social media platforms are exempt from legal liability for the content that their users post on them in Europe by the E-commerce Directive 7. Andrew Brindle and Corey Macmillan, Like and Share If You Agree, a study of discourses and cyber activism of the far-right British Nationalist Party. Britain First. Journal of Language Aggression and Conflict, Volume 5, Number 1, 2017, pp. 10833. 8. Kelly Whale, Gab is in full meltdown, and founder Andrew Torba blames the Deep State. Daily Beast, the 30th of January, 2019. 9. Gab homepage. Gab, accessed the 27th of June, 2019. 10. Tom Bennett, Gab is the alt-right social network racists are moving to, Vice. The 5th of April, 2018. 11. Torba, building a people-first community, a response to Mark Zuckerberg. Medium, 2017, accessed July 2018. This article is no longer available as Medium has since removed all of Gab's articles from their site. Nuri, Lorenzo Dews and Watkin 5. 2000/31/EC12 and in the US by Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act 13. They are still expected to take on much of the responsibility for tackling the use of their services by both terrorist and extremist groups and individuals. In recent years, social media platforms have been under pressure from the UK government to do more to remove terrorist and extremist content. 14. The European Commission has repeatedly expressed the responsibility that these companies have to remove illegal content and illegal hate speech online. 15. The direction of regulation recommendations introduced by the European Commission over recent years regarding terrorist and extremist content has been to encourage platforms to take proactive measures that are proportionate to the level of risk, to implement automated detection tools, and to remove content within very short time periods of notification of the content. 16. Social media platforms address the issue of problematic content and activity through the creation and implementation of their own rules or guidelines, which their users must follow. Otherwise, the platform can take action against those users, groups or content in the form of adding warnings to content, removing content and / or banning users. In practice, these rules and guidelines differ quite dramatically between platforms, which can result in content being removed on one platform but allowed on another. 12. The European Parliament and the Council of the European Union, Directive 2000/31/EC of the 8th of June 2000 on certain legal aspects of information society services, in particular electronic commerce, in the internal market, Directive on Electronic Commerce, Official Journal of the European Communities. L178/1, the 17th of July 2000. 13 Communications Decency Act 1996, U.S., Section 230. 14 Rob Merrick, Google and Facebook among tech giants. Theresa May will order to remove extremist content, The Independent, the 19th of September 2017. Heather Stewart and Jessica Elgott, May calls on social media giants to do more to tackle terrorism. The Guardian, the 24th of January 2018. Nicholas Mez. Theresa May calls on social media firms to take down Christchurch Mosque attack video. Politics Home, the 15th of March 2019. 15 European Commission, the EU Code of Conduct on Countering Illegal Hate Speech Online, undated, accessed the 22nd of June 2019. European Commission, proposal for a regulation of the European Parliament and of the Council on preventing the dissemination of terrorist content online. A contribution from the European Commission to the leaders' meeting in Salzburg on 19-20 September 2018, Com. 2018, 640 Final, the 12th of September 2018, accessed the 22nd of June 2019. 16 IBID. Global Research Network on Terrorism and Technology, paper number 46. As far as the two platforms under examination are concerned, Facebook has created what it calls community standards that cover a wide variety of issues, ranging from violence/incitement to suicide/self-injury and false news. Under dangerous individuals and organizations, Facebook states that it does not allow organizations or individuals that engage in terrorist activity or organized hate, and that any content that expresses support or praise for either will result in removal. 17 It defines a hate organization as any association of 3 or more people that is organized under a name, sign or symbol and that has an ideology, statements or physical actions that attack individuals based on characteristics, including race, religious affiliation, nationality, ethnicity, gender, sex, sexual orientation, serious disease or disability. 18 In addition to removing Britain first in March 2018, Facebook banned several groups and individuals in April 2019 for violating this policy. 19. GAB also has what it has termed community guidelines and enforces them through reminding you to kindly follow our community guidelines, and that, in the event that a breach has occurred, beyond a reasonable doubt, illegal content will be removed, and accounts suspended. 20 The relevant section of GAB's community guidelines for this paper is Threats and Terrorism, which states that users are prohibited from calling for the acts of violence against others, promoting or engaging in self-harm, and / or acts of cruelty, threatening language, or behavior that clearly, directly and incontrovertibly infringes on the safety of another user or individual. We may also report the user to local and / or federal law enforcement, as per the advice of our legal counsel. GAB follows the U.S. Department of State's definitions of terrorism and list of foreign terrorist organizations, along with the Federal Bureau of Investigation's prescribed list of terrorist groups, organizations and / or individuals. 21. Methodology. The dataset for the research for this paper comprises 995 images that were collected from the official Britain First pages of 2 social media platforms, Facebook, 731, and Gab, 264, during January to April 2017 and May to August 2018, respectively. The dataset includes images that were posted by Britain First rather than any other users or followers on their own official Facebook and Gab pages. 17 Facebook Community Standards, accessed the 22nd of June 2019. 18 Ibid. 19 Alex Hearn, Facebook bans far-right groups including BNP, EDL and Britain First, The Guardian, the 18th of April 2019. 20 Gab, Community Guidelines, last updated the 24th of May 2019, accessed the 22nd of June 2019. 21 Ibid. Nuri, Lorenzo Dews and Watkins 7. The scheme for coding the dataset is provided in Appendix 1. It provided information regarding the type of images used across platforms and the type of engagement that each image type generated, see results and discussion, as well as the themes represented in the images, see results and discussion. Results were compared cross-platform, and given their different time spans diachronically, in order to identify any changes to the Britain First's image use strategy in the move from Facebook to Gab. Results: number of followers, image type and user engagement. At the time of its removal from Facebook, Britain First had achieved a following of 1.8 million Facebook users. However, at the time of writing, exactly 1 year since the creation of the official Britain First Gab page, the total number of followers on Gab is 11,181. This is an enormous loss of followers and reach for the group. Table 1 shows the range of image types for Facebook, the total number of each image type, the number of comments, reactions and shares per image type, and how many times each image type contained text requesting to be liked and / or shared. Table 2 shows the equivalent data for Gab.22. 22 Gab, 2019, provide the following description of upvoting on their help page, which is no longer available. Content on Gab runs on a voting system. Voting content is essentially liking it. Downvoting is disliking it. Click on either the up or down arrows underneath a post to engage with it and vote for that piece of content. The numbers you see next to the arrows represent the total amount of up / down votes that post has received. Reposting is very similar to Facebook's definition of sharing. Gab, 2019, states that reposting will share the content with your followers so they can see it as well. This feature is only available for public accounts. Global Research Network on Terrorism and Technology, paper number 48. Table 1, Facebook image types. Image type total: no of comments, no of reactions, no of shares, no of asks to like and share. Photo 574, 74.8%. 104,729 1,076,185 1,486,185 153 Photoshopped 97, 13.3%. 4,940 110,104 98,178 4 Painting 18, 2.5%. 2,392 31,252 495 4 Graphic 35, 4.8%. 2,111 40,135 27,383 Text 6, 0.8%. 133 2,341 1,222 0 Drawing 1, 0.1%. 14,158 47 1 Source, author's research. Table 2, GAB image types. Image type total no of. Comments. No of upvotes, no of reposts, no of asks to. Like and share. Photo 244, 92.4%. 1,339 11,432 4,757 7 Photoshopped 12, 4.5%. 92 858 361 0 Graphic 5, 1.9%. 17 133 67 2 Cartoon 2, 0.8%. 8 112 47 0 Drawing 1, 0.4%. 7 72 26 0 Source, author's research. Nuri, Lorenzo Dews and Watkin 9. Two findings stand out from these tables. The first is that Britain first posted 731 images in total on Facebook over a 4-month period, whereas they only posted 264 images on GAB over a 4-month period. Second, the images on Facebook were receiving a much larger number of comments, reactions /upvotes and shares /reposts than those posted on GAB. Although it is important to note that Britain first was far more established on Facebook at the time of data collection than they were on GAB, removal from Facebook did create disruption for the group. The number of images they were posting decreased and the number of engagements their content received decreased during the period of data collection. Image themes. 4 image themes were identified: religion, politics, British nationalism, and Britain first. Religion refers to any images that included any kind of faith-related artifacts or symbols, for example, the Christian cross and the Muslim crescent and star. Politics refers to images which had a political focus, ranging from political figures to political events and issues. British nationalism refers to any image which depicted anything to do with the British nation, its people, landscape, culture, traditions, for example, national dishes, and institutions. Britain first refers to any images related to the behaviors and membership of the group as well as advertising of the group's merchandise. Within each category, different thematic layers, sub-themes, were identified. See Figures 118, which illustrate the number of images in each category for Facebook and then for GAB. Figure 1, Facebook category total no of images. 32%. 237. 10%. 73. 33%, 242, 24%, 173. Religion total, politics total, British nationalism total, Britain First total. Key: Global Research Network on Terrorism and Technology, paper number 410. Figure 2, GAB category total no of images. 21%, 56, 9%, 23, 66%, 173. Religion total, politics total, British nationalism total, Britain First total. Key: 5%, 12. Figures 1 and 2 show the total number of images in each of the 4 thematic categories across both platforms: religion, politics, British nationalism, and Britain First. The category with the highest number of images for Facebook is British nationalism, 33%, whereas for GAB it is Britain First, 66%. This suggests a renewed focus on building the group's identity. Religion is the second largest category for both platforms, Facebook 32%, GAB 21%, emphasizing its importance to the group. Figure 3, Facebook, religion no of images. 84%, 198, 16%, 39. Islam total, Christianity total. Key: Nuri, Lorenzo Dews and Watkin 11. Figure 4, GAB, religion no of images. Figure 5. 100%, 56, 0%. Islam total, Christianity total. Key: Facebook, religion no of images, sub-themes. Figure 6. 39%, 93, 44%, 105, 5%, 13, 11%, 26. Anti-Islam total, anti-Islamic extremism total, anti-abortion total, Christianity total. Key: GAB, religion no of images, sub-themes. Anti-Islam total, anti-Islamic extremism total. Key: 63%, 35, 38%, 21. Global Research Network on Terrorism and Technology, paper number 412. Figures 3 and 4 show the number of images for each theme of the religion category, Islam and Christianity. Figures 5 and 6 show the sub-themes of the religion category. Facebook contained images for both themes, but GAB only contained Islam-related images. The Christianity images did not receive as many likes, shares and comments on Facebook as many other categories and themes, which may explain why Britain First failed to carry this theme over to GAB. Figure 7, Facebook, politics no of images. Figure 8. 60%, 44, 40%, 29. Anti-total, pro-total. Key: GAB, politics no of images. 100%, 56, 0%. Anti-total, pro-total. Key: Nuri, Lorenzo Dews and Watkin 13. Figure 9, Facebook, politics no of images, sub-themes. Figure 10. 52%, 38, 7%, 5, 23%, 17, 11%, 8. Anti-UK government total, anti-Obama total, anti-IA total, pro-Trump total, key, pro-UKIP total, pro-Poland total, pro-Australia total, pro-Brexit total, 1%, 1, 1%, 1, 3%, 2, 1%, 1. Gab, politics no of images, sub-themes. 100%. 12. 0%. Anti-government total. Other total. Key. Figures 7 and 8 show the number of images for each theme in the politics category. Figures 9 and 10 show the sub-themes in the politics category. Facebook contained a variety of political sub-themes, but this was not carried over to Gab. This may, similarly to the earlier Christianity theme, be the result of the content receiving less engagement than other content. Global Research Network on Terrorism and Technology, paper number 414. Figure 11, Facebook, British nationalism no of images. Figure 12. People total. Institutions total. Key. 27%. 66. 58%. 140. 15%. 36. Culture total. Key. Gab, British nationalism no of images. Figure 13. 13%. 3. 83%. 19. 4%. 1. People total. Institutions total. Key. Culture total. Key. Facebook, British nationalism no of images, sub-themes. 10%. 25. 58%. 140. In-group total. Out-group total. Saving British culture total. Health total. Key. Judiciary total. Media total. Military total. 17%. 41. 2%. 4. 3%. 7. 0.4%. 1. 10%. 24. Nuri, Lorenzo Dews and Watkin 15. Figure 14, Gab, British nationalism no of images, sub-themes. 4%. 1. 9%. 2. 83%. 19. 4%. 1. In-group total. Out-group total. Saving British culture total. Media total. Key. Figures 11 and 12 show the number of images in the British nationalism category. Figures 13 and 14 show the sub-themes within the British nationalism category. Facebook had a variety of sub-themes that included images related to a variety of institutions, but these were not carried over to Gab. Instead, the focus on Gab is narrowed down to in and out groups and saving British culture. Figure 15, Facebook, Britain first no of images. 4%. 7. Behaviors total. Merchandise total. Key. 95%. 165. Membership total. Key. 1%. 1. Global Research Network on Terrorism and Technology, paper number 416. Figure 16, Gab, Britain first know of images. Figure 17. 93%. 161. 7%. 12. Behaviors total key. Membership total. Key. Facebook, Britain first know of images, sub-themes. Figure 18. 6%. 10. 90%. 155. 2%. 3. 2%. 4. Pro-freedom of speech total. Taking action total. Brotherhood total. Victimized leaders total. Key. Merchandise total. 0.6%. 1. Gab, Britain first know of images, sub-themes. 5%. 9. 83%. 144. 5%. 8. Pro-freedom of speech total. Anti-LGBTQ and total. Key. Taking action total. Key. Nuri, Lorenzo Dews and Watkins 17. Figures 15 and 16 show the themes for the Britain First category. Figures 17 and 18 show the sub-themes for the Britain First category. Once again, Facebook has a wider variety of sub-themes than Gab. On Gab there are new themes that were not present on Facebook, such as anti-LGBTQ and images that appeared under further sub-themes of taking action, which included threatening to dox individuals, publish private or identifying information about an individual online with malicious intent, and pedophile shaming. Whether or not this is simply a new strategy that the group is trying out or a result of being on a platform that is less likely to censor, it is important to watch how these sub-themes progress and the traction they gain. Discussion. Since its removal from Facebook and subsequent migration to Gab, Britain First has lost its unprecedentedly large following. Through its Facebook page, Britain First was posting images daily and had a large number of engagements, as noted over the 4-month period of research. To date, the group has not managed to carry that following or number of engagements over to its new home on Gab. This suggests that its ban from Facebook, as well as from Twitter in December 2017, has left it without a platform to provide a gateway to a larger pool of potential recruits. Its removal from the major social media platforms has arguably left it without the ability to signpost users to sites such as Gab, which Britain First is still using freely. Changes to the themes of the images used by Britain First on both Facebook and Gab have been identified. The group's most common image type on Facebook, British nationalism, focused on British people, culture and institutions. After moving to Gab, Britain First became the most prominent theme, with images focusing on the behaviors and members of the group. This suggests a renewed focus on building the group's identity and emphasizing the notion of a brotherhood by joining the group. Religion was the second largest image category for both platforms. The group posted pro-Christianity, anti-abortion, anti-Islam and anti-Islamist extremism images on Facebook, but appeared to drop considerably its use of pro-Christianity and anti-abortion images on Gab. This may be due to these images receiving less engagement than the anti-Islam and anti-Islamist extremism images. It is likely that the group would have decided to continue posting images based only on the themes that were known to receive more traction. A change was also noted in the politics image theme on Facebook. This theme had many sub-themes, while on Gab it only had an anti-government sub-theme, which could indicate a move away from Global Research Network on Terrorism and Technology, paper number 418. The group's push to gain political legitimacy since the migration to Gab. Although this is not necessarily directly evident from the data. The final notable change is in the Britain First theme. New sub-themes have appeared on Gab, including threatening to dox individuals, paedophile, shaming and anti-LGBTQ and images. This could be part of a new strategy of identity polarization, whereby certain individuals or groups, the out groups, are vilified and Britain First, the in group, is exalted. For example, the posting of pedophile shaming images, an image of a person who the group claims has been identified as a pedophile, portray Britain First as heroes, defending society from arguably the worst deviants known. Finally, the anti-LGBTQ and images may have been something Britain First always wanted to post but were unable to on Facebook due to its stricter policies. Alternatively, the appearance of all three of these themes may just be a result of Britain First taking advantage of Gab being less likely to censor content online. Conclusions. Britain First's removal from Facebook has disrupted the group's online strategy, which has had to migrate to a new platform, Gab. This has meant it has had to re-establish an online following on a smaller platform, resulting in a much smaller recruitment pool in terms of users. Further, removal from Facebook has brought about changes in the types of images Britain First posts online. Despite the decrease in followers on Gab, the themes found in Britain First's imagery demonstrate a move towards more extreme content. In the course of their migration to Gab, likely due to the platform being less likely to censor content, it is therefore recommended that future research investigates how this social media strategy progresses. Policy recommendations. In light of the above, the following steps are recommended. Removal is clearly effective, even if it is not risk-free. Despite the risk of groups migrating to more permissive spaces, mainstream social media companies should continue to seek to remove extremist groups that breach their terms of service. This research for this paper shows that in doing so, the possibility for groups to use these platforms as gateways to signpost followers to more extreme content on less stringent sites is removed, and that the pool of potential recruits is reduced. The UK and US governments should work towards developing better relationships with newer, smaller and fringe platforms in order for content to be regulated on these sites. Otherwise, content removal from mainstream sites could just worsen the content posted on other platforms that are seen to be more lenient. Nuri, Lorenzo Duz and Watkin 19. Mainstream social media companies should continue and intensify the sharing of best practices of the removal and monitoring of extreme content, as well as resources, with smaller and newer platforms. As a complement to regulation, policymakers should strengthen the response to extremist content through further collaboration beyond the major social media platforms, to ensure the consistent removal of content. Lela Nuri is a senior lecturer of criminology at Swansea University. Nuria Lorenzo Duz is Professor of Linguistics in the Department of Applied Linguistics at Swansea University. Amy Louise Watkin is a PhD candidate in Criminology at Swansea University. Global Research Network on Terrorism and Technology, paper number 420. Appendix 1. Coding scheme for dataset. Date posted. User engagement Facebook, sum total of reactions to the image, total number of comments on the image. Gab, total number of upvotes, comments, and reposts. Image type photograph, drawing, painting, etc. Accompanying text in image text, caption. Image content description of elements, social actors, objects, etc. in focus / out of focus. Image technical properties focal angle, focal length, blurring, etc. About RUSI. The Royal United Services Institute, RUSI, is the world's oldest and the UK's leading defence and security think tank. Its mission is to inform, influence and enhance public debate on a safer and more stable world. RUSI is a research-led institute, producing independent, practical and innovative analysis to address today's complex challenges. Since its foundation in 1831, RUSI has relied on its members to support its activities. Together with revenue from research, publications and conferences, RUSI has sustained its political independence for 188 years. About the Global Research Network on Terrorism and Technology. The Global Research Network on Terrorism and Technology is a consortium of academic institutions and think tanks that conducts research and shares views on online terrorist content, recruiting tactics terrorists use online, the ethics and laws surrounding terrorist content moderation, public-private partnerships to address the issue, and the resources tech companies need to adequately and responsibly remove terrorist content from their platforms. Each publication is part of a series of papers released by the Network on Terrorism and Technology. The research conducted by this network will seek to better understand radicalization, recruitment and the myriad of ways terrorist entities use the digital space. The network is led by the Royal United Services Institute, RUSI, in the UK and brings together partners from around the world, including the Brookings Institution, US, the International Centre for Counter-Terrorism, Netherlands, Swansea University, UK, the Observer Research Foundation, India, the International Institute for Counter-Terrorism, Israel, and the Institute for Policy Analysis of Conflict, Indonesia. The research network is supported by the Global Internet Forum to Counter Terrorism, GIFT. For more information about GIFT, please visit https://gift.org/. The views expressed in this publication are those of the authors, and do not reflect the views of RUSI or any other institution. Published in 2019 by the Royal United Services Institute for Defence and Security Studies. RUSI is a registered charity. Number 210639. This work is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives 4.0 International License. For more information, see Royal United Services Institute for Defence and Security Studies, Whitehall, London SW1A 2ET, United Kingdom. +44 20 7747 2600. www.rusi.org. RUSI is a registered charity, number 210639.